All right. Kevin Hart, we're back. It's midnight right now. It's December 15th, 2018. I'm feeling very confident. I am really excited about these videos. It's just something it's kind of my passion, you know. I love football, and I love talking about football, and I love fantasy football, and the game is very exciting for me, and so I'm just I'm very energized. I'm very excited to be doing these videos. I got a lot of feedback today from a lot of my buddies in my league, and you know, I wasn't expecting that. I was very surprised. So with their support, and then some other people, my sister, you know, some of her friends, I feel like I'm kind of on a roll. So what I wanted to do is there are two games tomorrow on Saturdays. There's early afternoon and then late afternoon. I didn't know that, so what I want to do is just kind of go over a quick little preview for the games, kind of give you guys some fantasy advice, what I think is going to happen, the players that I think that will step up, the players that I think will absolutely suck. There will be several of those tomorrow, trust me. We're going to go over that right now. Let's just get right into it. Well, real quick, if you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. Hit the thumbs up. It's going to be good regardless, so just go ahead and hit that thumbs up. Go watch my other videos. I start off, my very first video is about the Cowboys. I'm certified #1 Dak hater. I also talk about Thursday Night Football. I made a good prediction. I ended up being right. And then yesterday, something that I'm very proud of, I made a video kind of going over what happened between that really good game between the Chargers and the Chiefs on Thursday Night Football. So let's get started on tomorrow's game. Again, this is just going to be something quick. So we got the Texans versus the Jets. Talk about possible snooze fest. This is going to be one of those games, you know, kind of late in the season. It's going to be cold weather. It's going to be in New York. I think I forgot. They're not the Meadowlands. It's the Giants. Those godforsaken Giants. I forgot the name of where the Jets play, but they're playing in New York. They both have good defenses. They both have a good pass defense, and they both have a good rush defense. So I'm expecting, you know, one of those December AFC matchup games. You know, it could very well be something like 6-6 going into halftime. You know, both of those offenses are a little bit on the weaker side, I would say. The Texans, they do have, you know, they do have explosive players. They can make some noise. They're just a little bit too inconsistent for me. I would like to see them, you know, go and do their commit to their offensive game a little bit more on a game-by-game basis. Let's get into some players. So if you go back and watch my last video, I kind of went over some fantasy matchups in my fantasy league. I got knocked out last week. I shouldn't have gotten knocked out. It's all my fault. I'm going to grow from this, and I'm going to come back next season, and I'm not going to guarantee you a championship, but I guarantee you I will get past the first round of the playoffs. Last night I went over some matchups, and one of them happened to be Lamar Miller. I'm going to say the same thing. Ain't nobody care. On the other side of the ball, though, on the other team, there's a very interesting player, Elijah McGuire. He's very interesting to me. Isaiah Crowell is out. He's done for the season. He wasn't really doing much anyway, so he needs to go. He needs to get healthy. I like Isaiah Crowell. I think he's a very good serviceable running back, so hopefully he gets better and he comes back soon. Back to Elijah McGuire. He can play. You know, he's young. I think this is his second or his third season in the league. He can run, and he can also pass catch. So, you know, this happens every single season. There's always a couple players that you don't think are going to do very well. They're not household names. And every single fantasy playoffs, you have a couple of these players that kind of go crazy. And I think Elijah McGuire is a very good candidate for one of those. I'm not saying he's going to. I guess what I'm saying is if you're desperate, you know, and you need a running back, and he's out there, I would go grab him immediately. He's actually available in my league. I am a lot better than everybody else in my league at fantasy football. They won't tell you that, but I am. I would have picked him up, yesterday, just like I would have picked up Damian Williams the day before yesterday, or 2 days ago, 3 days ago, whatever it was. My life is a blur. So Elijah McGuire, if you need him, go pick him up. Jets are on a 3-game home losing streak. Come on, man. You guys got to do better. You guys have to step it up. Represent Gary V. Shout out to Gary V, one of my heroes, one of my mentors. And all I do is just watch his Instagram and some of his YouTube videos. That's one of my secrets. DeAndre Hopkins, he hasn't really done anything. I made a trade earlier in the season, way earlier in the season. I traded DeAndre Hopkins for David Johnson and Marvin Jones. Everybody know what happened to starving Marvin Jones. He got knocked out. But I really thought I traded for David Johnson right before the offensive coordinator, Mike McCoy, who he shouldn't have a job. It was right before he got fired, and I thought, I was getting the David Johnson of 2016. That's not going to happen. David Johnson, he's a very good player, but he is no longer an elite superstar running back. If you have him or you traded for him, like my dumbass did, I feel bad for you like I feel bad for myself. But at the same time, DeAndre Hopkins hasn't really done much. If you go look at his game log, he's only been scoring in the teens, and that's in my league, and we score a lot. I'm not going to ever tell you the secrets to my league. Where's Kiki? Kiki Kuti. Where's Kiki? He's been asking for love, but he hasn't been shown any love. Shame on you, Drake. Don't put a hit out on me, Drake. Jets wide receivers, nobody cares about them. I want to talk real quick about Robbie Anderson. What's going on with him? Why isn't this guy getting more opportunities? Why isn't he getting more targets? He plays very, very well with a 35, 36-year-old Cade McNown, but he can't play well with Sam Darnold. Throw the guy the ball. He had some good highlights. He seems to get open. He seems to be a good deep threat. If you think Sam Darnold is the quarterback of your future, start taking some shots. Get Robbie Anderson the ball, man. Let him see what he can do. Make him stop being such a tease all the time. Sam Darnold, aka Beavis, he looks like Beavis. Go check it out. My buddy Simon pointed it out one time, and I just made that thumbnail that you see myself. I'm very creative like that. I'm very good at getting pictures and kind of putting them together. The guy, he looks exactly like Beavis from Beavis and Butthead. What's he gonna do? He's got to do something. Maybe use his legs. Maybe maybe throw some deep passes to Robbie Anderson. Maybe get the tight end involved. I don't really know any of the players on that team. I know Quincy Unyewu. He's good, but he's been banged up all year. Throw the ball to Robbie Anderson. Give the ball to Elijah McGuire, and then Sam Darnold. He's gonna have to make some plays too. Deshaun Watson. Very, very, very iffy on him. I have not been a fan of Deshaun Watson. He played really well last year, but this season he's kind of taken just a minor step down. And I think that part of it is the coaching staff. I'm going to get on that here in a second. Depending on who you have on your bench, I would play him, but then it kind of depends on your other quarterback too. If you have, I don't really know who else to compare him to. If you have someone like Cam Newton, I think you're going to play Cam Newton. If you have Andrew Luck, I think you're going to play Andrew Luck. There's a lot of quarterbacks I would play over Deshaun Watson. Really quick about him, what's going on with him? I don't know if they've gotten better, but it seems like the offensive coordinator, whoever he is for Houston, he's been calling a lot of plays that put Deshaun Watson in danger of getting hurt. Why would you do that? He's a little undersized. He is a mobile quarterback, but that doesn't mean, he's like a 6'3", 6'4" Randall Cunningham. He's athletic, but he's no Mike Vick. stop calling draws for him. If you want to turn him into a pocket passer, which I think he can be, because at the end of the day, he does have that, Tony Romo-esque escapability about him. You can do that with him. But these quarterback draws, stop doing that. I remember earlier this season against the Cowboys, you saw the footage. He was going to the sideline every play to check his ribs, and he had a stethoscope. And then they were still calling quarterback draws, and he was still getting hit. That was the game where Jalen Smith lit him up. I don't get it. Lee, I don't know what the offensive coordinator, what Deshaun Watson did. Maybe he said something to him. I don't really understand, but stop putting him in danger. Just relax. So, all in all, you got to play DeAndre Hopkins. Lamar Miller, ain't nobody care. If you're desperate, Darnold might do something. I don't really know. If you're looking for a ninth inning, bottom of the inning grand slam, Robbie Anderson, I guess. The only player I feel okay about is Elijah McGuire. I really don't even feel that comfortable about him. He could be that fantasy unsung hero in the playoffs that you don't know about, but I really just expect the defensive game. That's just my opinion. Moving along, another game that who really cares, but I'm going to go over it. The Cleveland Browns against the Denver Broncos. The Cleveland Browns. I'm not going to say nobody cares. The Browns have had drama, so they've been kind of intriguing. They do have some playmakers on both sides of the ball, so I don't mind the Browns. I think they're a lot better than, obviously they're a lot better than 0-16. I don't know why I said that, but I think they've come a long way from when they were 0-16 and the fans would show up with bags over their head. They've come a long way. Baker Mayfield, just really quick, he kind of left a sour taste in my mouth because of the whole Hugh Jackson thing. Before that, I was a fan of him. I liked him. I liked the way, he just comes in and he wanted to play. But I really think he mistreated Hugh Jackson. Hugh Jackson lost his mother and his brother just a few months before. So Baker Mayfield, like, you're a quarterback. I get it. You're the number one pick. Cool. But you should probably have a little bit, bigger heart to you, and to be a little bit more understanding. You don't know what the man was going through, and to come out and kind of just put him on blast like that, it's not right. I'm not going to say he's immature like those other guys. I'm not going to do all that, but I think he was wrong in that aspect. That's just my opinion. I'll forgive him Sunday. Nick Chubb, ain't nobody care. He did okay for a little bit a few weeks ago. I think in my league he had 40 points. He went King Kong. I think it was like 2 weeks in a row. He went a little crazy. People got a little gassed up on him. That ended up kind of being a V12 or like a V8, Ford truck. The gas kind of went away pretty quickly on him. Can you trust him? Maybe. Are you going to start him? Of course. What's he going to do? We don't know. Can you trust him? I don't. Not yet. Jarvis Landry popped off last week. I love Jarvis Landry. Even when he was with Miami, even when he was with LSU. I'm not really into college football. I just really don't like. I like professional sports, but I remember watching Jarvis Landry, and he can catch the ball. I love what he's been doing for the Browns ever since everybody saw what he did in Hard Knocks. That was badass. I thought I was in there with him, and it made me want to go outside and run for a little bit before getting tired and coming back inside. So the Broncos defense is not the same. So they might be I think the Cleveland offense will be able to move the ball with the combination of all the skill players. They got the tight end Njoku, and then they got Antonio Callaway, which he's been catching the ball more often now. He doesn't have as many drops. I think he will be better next season. I think he just needs to improve a little bit. But all in all, I see Cleveland. I don't see a high scoring game, but I see them kind of moving the ball against the Broncos D. The Broncos, they're a complete mess. Quarterback is Case Keenum. Philip Lindsay. I love Philip Lindsay. He plays very hard. He plays very, very hard. He doesn't really do too much well, but when he does run the ball, when you watch him play, he just runs with a certain energy. There's like a certain like kind of what's the kid's name from the Flintstones? Bam Bam. It's Bam Bam. I actually knew it. I thought of his name while I was speaking. So if it seemed like I planned that, I didn't. He's got like some sort of Bam Bam quality about him, where he's running and he's just like knocking, just hitting, just busting through people. And I think he'll be able to do something against that Cleveland defense. The Cleveland defense, they have really good pass rushers. I don't really know about their rushing defense, to be seen. I love Philip Lindsay. I would like to see him do well. Exponentially so, because he's playing against Zach, and I hate Zach, and I hope that he loses. Hamilton, Deshaun Hamilton, I forgot to look up his name today. Apologies to him. He could make some plays. He could make something happen. He's kind of been thrust into that second wide receiver role, most likely the first, because I don't really know about Sutton. We don't really know too much about him. We don't really know too much about Hamilton either. Hamilton had a good game last week, so if you have to choose between those two, I would go with the hotter hand. I would play Sutton if you have absolutely nobody else. Nobody else. So the last thing I've written here is the Cleveland defense. They held their own against Cam Newton last week, which is very hard to do. Cam Newton is not, he's a very good quarterback. And the Cleveland defense, again, they have really good pass rushers. They have some playmakers on their defense, led by Myles Garrett. The guy is, he's like a combination of King Kong and Bigfoot. And when he does take over games sometimes, and when he does, it's over. And when your quarterback is Case Keenum, just slipping into a coma, it's a recipe for disaster, especially since Cleveland's been playing so well. So, good luck to the Browns. Good luck to the Broncos. Good luck to the Texans. Good luck to Beavis and the Jets. Beavis and the Jets. Sorry. Good luck to all those teams. I don't care about any of those. It's all AFC matchups. I think they're all going to be boring. Maybe the Cleveland does something on offense, but other than that, I expect a lot of defense. I expect a lot of AFC winter football. If you like my video, please subscribe, hit that like button. I do sell the best TV service of all time, Streams. It's on an app. You can put it on your Fire Stick, on your Apple TV, on your Smart TV. $35 a month for everything. Have a good night, people. I'll be back tomorrow. There's 13 other games. I'm going to try my best to go over, maybe not all of them, but maybe just pick a few of the games here or there, and then I will do another video about the Dallas Cowboys preview against I forgot who they're playing. I didn't look up their schedule, but whoever they're playing against, it's going to be a good game. There's always drama with the Dallas Cowboys. As you guys know there's always drama with this team. It's what makes them so special, etc., etc. We really are God's team, because it's like, constantly putting us, bringing us up and putting us down, putting us through all these struggles, and then giving us a better day, but then knocking us back down again. It's just like life, and it's kind of like God has a hold on the Dallas Cowboys, with the whole life being, hard and then pay off, and then being hard and then pay off. I really wish it would be the ultimate payoff of a Super Bowl, and it could have been with Romo. Just going to throw that in there. But we shall see what happens. Hopefully they do what's right with Dak. Stop holding on to the ball, Dak. The coaching staff, do not give him those 5-7 step drops. Do not put him in that position. Okay? He cannot do it. Let him give the ball to Zeke. Let him screen the ball to Zeke. Let him screen it to Rod Smith. Let him throw his Cole Beasley passes, which are overdone. I don't like them anymore. Let him get Gallup involved. Let him go deep to Gallup. Gallup will get open again. And if Dak misses him again, I'm going to tear him apart. Have a good night, people. Peace and love.